If you don't know the difference between being honest and being cruel, maybe you just need to keep your mouth shut. Is that a little rough? I'm Bill Snodgrass. Welcome to episode number 9. So after church, I came to Lemon Lake County Park, which is where I am. And I had this idea in mind that I wanted to talk about. People will sometimes be like, I'm just going to tell you this just to be honest. But the truth of the matter is, what they're being is cruel and unkind. This idea of telling people the truth versus just being hateful and cruel, telling them the truth in order to make them better. I got onto this because of something that happened after photography club. So one of these pictures was commented upon by supposedly a friend of the subject, and the comment was something to the effect of, "You're too fat to be a model." Now, it's obviously not the boob picture that got that comment. The thing is that, why was that comment said? Now, honestly, I only have half of the story from the one person. I don't even have two sides. I don't even have the whole story from one side. I've just got like part of the story from one side. But I did see a screenshot of a text message, and that text message said, "You're too fat to be a model." Now, that's not the exact words, but now I don't know the person who sent the message, but I do know the person who's the subject of the photo. And I can tell you for a fact, and you can look at these pictures, none of these pictures looks like someone who's fat. And if you know the person in real life, if you know the person not as a photograph, there is no way you could construe that person to be fat. So that leaves me to wonder, what was the motivation of that? Was it to help someone become a better version of themselves, or was it to be hurtful and vindictive and mean-spirited? What the question is honesty? Was it honesty, or was it bullying? Was it honesty, or was it cruelty? There's a difference between what you tell people that helps them become better, what you tell people to help build them up, compared to what you tell people to tear them down. There's a difference. And most of the time, if you ask me, the person doing the telling knows what that difference is. Now, I'm not saying that you don't tell people the truth when you're trying to help them. There are times when you've got to be honest, and sometimes the truth, as the expression says, sometimes truth hurts. But there's a difference. There's a difference in how you say it, and there's a difference in where you say it. So I'm going to school to get my computer. I've got tomorrow's off, a holiday, but I need to get some activities built for our science class. And while I'm here, I got a package. I'll go ahead and do package time. Open that package up. So, in another previous video, I had to send back the ND filter because I ordered the wrong one. Also, did you see how fast I opened this envelope? This is the variable ND. So, Maddie from Travel Fields is a big fan of the variable ND filters. They allow you to keep the shutter speed as low as you want it to be, and while you're continuing to shoot. Now this one, this is the one, this is what I wanted. So you can turn the ring, I don't know if that, and it gets darker. And this way you can set the amount of light however you want. So that's like really dark, and if I turn the ring back the other way, it gets really light or lighter. So this way, so and then the other thing is I got the 77mm. I don't have any lenses that big, but the package that I had such a hard time opening were the step down rings. So using the step down rings, the 77mm step down ring, I can mount the 77mm filter onto the 77mm ring, which apparently that's not the one, and then it steps down to the lens size that I have. And I have a 72 and a 67mm lens, and I also have a 58mm. So there we go. So then this would go onto this lens and allow me to keep the shutter speed at and all the vlogger guys, all the video, the cinematic, they say the rule of thumb is you want your shutter speed to be double your frame rate. So for 24 frames per second, I got 50. That's, you know, close enough. So that's package time. I will put links to the filter that I bought, the filter that I sent back, just in case you need a 10-stop filter, as well as the step down rings. I'll put Amazon links down there for all that stuff. Package time. I'll be the first to say that if I'm doing something and it is detrimental to myself, to me, I would like for someone to call attention to that. On the other hand, that their opinion, their view, their understanding of the situation is going to be based on their perceptions and their values and their understanding of all the background information, which may or may not be 100% correct. At the end of the day, when someone tells you something, or when someone tells me something, I have to look at it and consider the possibility that it's true, but also consider the possibility that it's not true. So the young man who said the subject of the photograph was fat, the data's just not there to back that up. And I don't know him, and I don't know what his intention was, and as I said, I don't know anything about him. I only heard half of one side of the story, but I cannot see how the comments that I saw in the screenshot could possibly be construed as being helpful or building the person up. I know that's pretty judgmental, it's pretty harsh and all those kinds of things, but it's a good lesson. The point is, and the closing thought on this conversation is, you cannot wrap your cruelty up and put a bow on it and say, I was just being honest. You can't be harsh and mean and unreasonable and cruel to someone and then just say, oh well, you know, I was just being honest. You should thank me for that. Doesn't work. So this is where I'm not going to be out in the 20-degree temperature, the actually 5-degree temperature. I'm going to go somewhere else and do this story about the picture. Why? Wow, that's even creepier. I know why I did that.